All right. Seizure migraine story part 11. So, more accurately, I'd had a simple seizure in my sleep at the end of 2020, not the early 2021. Um, it was after the huge incident involving my living situation. And I'd been taking 5-HTP. I thought maybe it was the 5-HTP that caused the issue, so I stopped taking it entirely, and everything worked out. This complete living hell, but whatever. And then I had to move out of that place again, and I needed to get the fuck out of that place. So I moved into the first place I got, and there's no heat in there. It's just shade. Like, I'll just outline it. It was as stressful as fucking it could be. The only way I could be in a worse situation is if I was homeless. I was sitting Christmas Eve, and I was just getting the vibe that I should just stay home. Just stay home. Totally getting that vibe. But a friend of mine from out of town called. She really needed some help driving around getting her Christmas presents. So, whatever. It had been almost 2 years since my last seizure. And as I said, I didn't give a fuck about anything. Whatever, dude. At that point, I wasn't taking into account what had happened late 2020 as a seizure. So I went and walked a couple of kilometers to pick her up and drive her around because her roommates had gotten too drunk or some shit, or her hotel mates or travel mates. So I went, drove her around. She got her presents. I dropped her off, and then I had to walk the other couple kilometers back home. And I got home, started my candle heater, and I remember sitting down, and that's when the seizure started. I remember turning, looking at my window, and one of the things that comes right before my seizure always is like something that I call framing. I don't know what they call it, but like you'll look at something. It's like when you look at a light, then you look away and it's still there. It's like I'll look at something like a window. I looked at my window and then I shifted my gaze, and the frame of my window was still visible. And then from there, it just took control. I like just remember flashes, getting up, went to lay in my bed, but I was freezing. So I grabbed my sheet and I got up and I walked downstairs, and I remember noting to myself, like, fuck, my legs hurt. And that'll come into play later. Like, I only walked a few kilometers and it shouldn't be hurting yet. I remember as my body is walking down the stairs, like, without my volition. I remember just sitting in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, this is all pretty cool and fucking. But then it just blacked out. I remember just like, it just felt like I took way, way, way too much acid, and fucking everything was just fucked. I had spent 4 months prior making just a huge, huge mess because I almost died of blood poisoning at Concordia in July. So I was kind of paranoid. I was expecting some problems coming from that. So in my mind, I was being set up for some shit, and I was being taken to fucking jail. And then from there, I remember a flash of standing outside my body, looking at me and a nurse, and my legs are just fucking bouncing like crazy. The nurse puts her hand on my leg, and I'm concerned about your bouncing legs, and just flashed off. And the next thing I remember is being tied to a table in a dark room. Yeah, I'm just high as fuck. Like above me, I'm seeing something going on the ceiling, and it's fucking unreal. But at this point, I'm taking a half gram of WRHA twice a day, AM and PM, and I'm discovering now that with a lot on my mind, it is hard to fucking remember to take my fucking pills. Like right now, like I just have a situation where if I catch myself thinking too much, I can go back and recount everything I did up to the point where did I take my pills? And I can go down, I can check, and then I have another system in place where I have a pill bottle positioning to be able to tell if I took the pill or not. And yeah, there's a very good chance that I missed a lot of doses. So yeah, I'm tied to a table, just fucking high out of my fucking mind, putting together a scenario out of the fucking fragments that I can pull together in my fucking. Like, I have never been that fucked up in my life. Aside from the simple seizure that I had at night, late 2020, that's the only time I ever saw something like what I saw on the ceiling in that fucking room. But getting pretty long, so I'm going to start that story with the next one. This happened in December 2021, following about a 5-month campaign at the end of a 9-year campaign against the WRHA and fucking apparently fucking everyone in the world. But yeah, the next story is actually, this is one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me, and this is when the tide turned in my favor. So next time, okay, peace out, tubes.